Welcome in, YouTube, to part 4, the final part of the Heavensward Hildibrand quests with Morrighan and Initari. Does Gigi return to his Papa Hildy? Find out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below and let me know what you're all thinking of these videos, if you're enjoying the shorter videos or if you want me to go back to longer videos. And you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/CalebGames here. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays I start streaming about 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time. Thanks for watching, YouTube. I love you, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we gotta talk to Seer to start this last little bit. He is a man at the end of his tether. We need to speak, Morrighan. I've been scouring the archives for any information regarding temporal magic since last we spoke, and the results have been rather troubling, to say the least. As you may or may not be aware, Ancient Allag is portrayed in the Enchiriadon as a cautionary tale, a great empire brought low by its vanity and hubris. However, there are certain apocryphal texts in which the Allagans are cast in a more sympathetic light, if not outright exalted. 'Twas in these texts that I found references to temporal magics once wielded by Allagan mages. Said magics could be used to halt or even reverse the temporal state of a given object. If these accounts are to be believed, and if Gigi's abilities and these magics are one and the same, then it may well be possible for him to turn back the hands of time for the Grand Sirs, much as he restored the Duke's priceless vase. That being said, there is no telling how this will work with regards to a living being. Consider, if you will, that the vase was filled with water when shattered. Even if the vessel were restored, what would become of its former contents? Would it be filled with water as before? The very same, every drop returned? Or would it be different water? Or would the water, once spilt, be forever lost? I speak of the soul, my friend. For even if one could use these magics to restore the dead to life, would they be as they were before, with all the same thoughts and memories and feelings? The Grand Sirs are convinced that they can regain their lost youth, and mayhap they can, but the dead who have entered into Hallone's halls cannot return. They cannot. Yet Gigi is nevertheless resolved to try and resurrect Archmagus Quan. Speaking of which, according to some Charlayan texts in the archives, Archmagus Quan was an accomplished scholar known for his study of ancient Allagan magics. Further evidence that Gigi's abilities are likely derived from ancient traditions, I suppose. But more importantly, I learned the location of the Archmagus's former residence. Mayhap we could find something of interest there. Something which could help us to persuade Gigi to change his course. I had a mind to summon Inspector Hildibrand and make the journey there together. Would you be willing to join us? Of course. Excellent. Then let us be about our business. I saw you! A heretic! Beg your pardon? Are you accusing me of being a heretic? Yes, you! Inquisitor Seer! I saw you sneak into the archives and seek out the forbidden tomes. Saw the mad light in your eyes as you partook of their forbidden knowledge. Oh, for the love of... I did all of that for my investigation. Aha! You admit your crimes. That you did secretly, without permission, in blatant contravention of our rules, read forbidden tomes. Then, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory Doctrine, you stupid, ignorant... Are you all so desperate to keep your goddamn jobs that you'll go around accusing all the world of his wife of heresy? Is that what we've been reduced to? I'm sick and tired of looking for heretics in every bloody shadow, of trying to guess the secret sins of everyone I meet. It's stupid and pointless, and we're better than that, damn it. We're better than that. If you will not surrender yourself, then I have no choice but to inform my superiors. Well, that all came tumbling out, didn't it? I suppose there's no point in trying to convince myself that I have no personal investment in this matter, or that I still have a professional one. Somewhere along the way, I stopped looking for the guilty and started looking for the truth, perhaps, and a way to help those in need. But there's no place for people like that in the Inquisition, is there? And it's only a matter of time before that stuttering fool comes back with an armed guard. Let us depart for Idleshire at once. We need to find the inspector. Alright. Let us find the inspector. Who are you? This place ain't nothing like Uldar, sure. That place might be more established, but Idleshire is a much nicer place to live. I almost died in the calamity, but Notchbone saved me. I'll never leave his side. I owe him my life. Are those people always there? What does Julian have to say? Gods damn it, Hildy. I raised you to have better sense than this. 'Twould seem we arrived too late. Inspector Hildibrand has already gone off on his own to confront the Grand Sirs. They came back briefly to trade jingly shine for supplies and whatnot. You see, and the Gobby's ear caught them trading tongue flaps about killing dragons in the Forelands. When the inspector learned about it later, he said he had to get after them right away and backtake Gigi. He said he had a duty, not as an inspector, but as a father. Bugger that. He's got no obligations to a bloody mammoth, especially one that chose to leave of its own free will. As I recall, I swear, I turned my back on the boy for one bleeding second and he loses his goddamned mind. I'm afraid he might try to do something reckless. Don't you think we should try to find him and offer hand-lending? I am rather more concerned about what will happen if the Grand Sirs attack. Or worse, kill any of Race Veilger's brood. But first things first, I suppose. Morrighan, would you be so kind as to assist Mistresses Nashu and Julian in their search for the inspector? I will pay a visit to Archmagus Quan's abandoned abode in the meantime. Oh, and before you think to refuse, know that you need not fear for my safety. Let us just say that our singular experiences together have inured me to harsh realities of, well, reality. Huh. Could it be that scrawny little shite's finally found his spine? Let's start by heading to Tailfeather. I reckon the inspector probably went there first to ask after the Grand Sirs. So if we do the same, we're sure to catch up with him eventually. Alright then, the Tailfeather. Right then, I say we split up and make inquiries separately. If you learn anything about the inspector or the Grand Sirs or Gigi, come and tell me. How many people? 3? Okay, easy enough. What am I hung up on? Okay. That was odd. The Ishgardians with the mammoth. They were here, proclaiming to all and sundry that they were going to slay the greatest dragon of them all. The gods only know if the naive fools were serious. Oh, those daft sods, they were for Annex Trine. Not quite sure what their intentions were, but they were awfully confident. That much I recall. 3 dragon slayers and a mammoth, eh? I'd call you a mummer if I hadn't seen them come through earlier, boasting about how they were off to kill the biggest one yet. I see. So the Grand Sirs were headed for Annex Shrine. And my dear boy wasn't far behind them earlier, either. What are we waiting for? Let's go! Did we really have to like do a separate cutscene just for that? Okay. We probably could have just teleported to Annex Shrine, but we're already halfway there, as SpongeBob would say. I like to think that was a good SpongeBob impression, but you know, probably actually, it wasn't. Did Hildy do this? Usually he ends up on the receiving end. The poor unfortunate soul who bears a striking resemblance to Orland is quite firmly embedded in the earth. Would you look at that? The inspector sure gave him what for? That may be, but where'd the other two get to? Not to mention the mammoth. Why don't we pull him out and ask? Though, having said that, it looks easier said than done. How silly of me. I'm sure you've got more than enough strength to yank him free. Right, Morrighan? I like how Nashu knocked on his legs as I rubbed his feet. Of course, it was indeed Hildy. Well, I'll be! He's wearing some sort of magicked mask that makes him look just like the inspector. Just like that man of 1,000 faces back in Ul'dah. No, that's Hildibrand all right. There's no fool in a mother's eyes. I say, what trouble has my beloved son gotten himself into this time? Why, hello there, Lord Godbird and Inspector Seer. How'd you two end up traveling together? Blind fortune, you might say. I was too far from Tailfeather when night began to fall, but unfortunately Lord Godbert chanced to find me wandering in the wilderness. Lord Edmund told me all about his recent trouble with the Grand Sirs, as well as Hildy's investigation. And a father cannot help but take an interest in his son's affairs, can he? As for me, I was eager to share with you my latest findings, namely, Archmagus Quan's research notes. I haven't slept like that since I was buried in the Lich Yard. Well, well! I must confess no small measure of embarrassment to be found in such a state, having been so unceremoniously disposed of by the Grand Sirs. But, ignominy notwithstanding, I am most grateful for your succor, and pleasantly surprised to be reunited with you all. This wouldn't have happened had you waited for us instead. Wait, why in the hells are you still wearing that rubbish? An impenetrable disguise is essential when consorting with the criminal elements. Alas, it would seem the Grand Sirs have grown more perceptive in their newfound youth. Wait, do you mean they've already regained their youth? What about Gigi? Did you see him? Was he behaving strangely? Now that you mention it, his warm, soulful eyes were rather more pointy than I remember. By the Fury, not pointy. According to Archmagus Quan's notes, that's a sign Gigi's using too much magic. If he carries on like this, his ether will be expended, and he'll end up not more than an empty husk. This is terrible news. We must catch up to the Grand Sirs at once. Do you know where they were headed? All I heard was that they were keen to slay dragons. They were bound for the Churning Mists, a place called Zenith, to kill a great worm named Nidhogg. I've already taken care of Nidhogg? Really? That all happened, huh? I meant the other one, Prace Veilgar. Race Veilgar? Fury, take me, what could they possibly hope to achieve? I, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, do hereby ask you all to aid me in rescuing my son and putting a stop to the Grand Sir's machinations. You know, there's really no need for all of that. We came because we wanted to help. I, Nashu, faithful assistant, maker of explosives extraordinaire, do hereby present to you this fresh change of clothing. Capital! I knew I could count on you, Nashu. I shall change en route. Come, my friends, to Zenith and to GG. Make ready, my friends. The final battle with the Grand Sirs is at hand. Ugh, 'twould seem my wounds were more serious than I thought. I fear I am in no condition to confront our foes. There is but one thing that could restore me to my former, indomitable self. Don't you worry, I've got some salamander oil right here. Shall Mummy give her baby boy a massage? Oh, my dearest Mummy. Mother dearest, I would not impose upon you, not when my ever-loyal associate, Morrighan, stands ready to minister to my muscles. Don't tell me you're embarrassed. Let Mummy take care of little Hildy's hurts. My dear wife, I know you mean well, but let Morrighan handle it. I can personally testify to the healing talents of her strong yet tender fingers. If that's the way of it, I'm counting on you, Morrighan. Let us brook no further delay. Come, my friend, coat my body in oil as you have done many a time before. Oh, how it soothes my aches and pains. Quickly now, knead it into my flesh. Knead as you've never kneaded before. Such furious kneading. I applaud your enthusiasm, but mayhap I urge you to use excessive force. Nay, you were in the right. Already the gentle warmth begins to spread throughout my body. The fires of righteousness burn anew in my breast. Hold, my son. Though your passion is renewed, you may yet be spurred to greater feats of Mandevillian strength. Oops. Salamanderville? Could it be the legends were true? Your muscles shall shine with the brilliance of 1,000 suns. No mortal man will have the power to do you harm. Verily it is so, for by its grace did I once weather the slings and arrows of a bandit horde and bring my hammer of justice to bear upon their wicked heads. The time has come, Morrighan. Take this oil and help Hildy become the Mandeville man he was meant to be. I am ready for my final oiling, Morrighan. Ooh! The Salamanderville. How it flows into every nook and cranny. Quickly now, lay your hands upon me. Massage me with all your might. Yes! That's the spirit. I can feel it building and rising. Such passion, such fervor. I am the inferno unbound, the tempest unleashed, but I have not yet begun to pose. All right. Hopefully this is the last time we have to massage him. I am Amanda. Manderville Man! That Salamanderville is my word. I have never felt so alive. Such vibrant colors, such intense sounds, such fragrant smells. Mother, Father, Morrighan, 'twas your oils and your strong yet tender fingers which opened my eyes to the glory of creation. I am a gentleman inspector reborn. Onward, to Zenith. No matter the laws of nature they pervert or the limits they break, the Grand Sirs can do naught to stop me. We've all walking with purpose. They all do look rather younger. Oh no. Gigi. Grand Sirs, I have come for my son. Oh, must we do this now? We have a dragon to slay. There is no need for any of this. The war is over. But not for long. The worm's death will give rise to a new era of fire and blood. And we, having consumed his eyes, will use our new powers to win untold glory on the battlefield. Our legends will echo in eternity. You would doom countless innocents for glory. No, I won't allow it. Over my dead body. Far be it from us to deny you then. This is the end for you. The ultimate end. They'll fail. Or Mama Julian will take over. The throwback to Final Fantasy VII's Knights of the Round, and the fight with Thornton. But he's still alive. Because Hildy can't be stopped. Hold, dear. Have faith, my love. He is our son. Gigi, my beautiful boy, pray do not look at me with such pointy eyes. Let Papa Hildy take you home to our gazebo. Stop calling me that. My name is Vivi. I remember everything. My powers, my purpose, my grandpapa Quan. I made them young again, but it's not enough. I need more. I need the worm's eyes. And then I can finally bring him back. I'm sorry, Gigi, but no, you cannot. Grandpapa Quan is gone. He's right, Gigi. Mayhap you could restore his corporeal form and breathe life into it, but his soul, what made him your grandpapa, is forever beyond your reach. That's not true. I can restore anything to its ideal form, to the way it should be, even Grandpapa Quan, even you, Papa Hildy. Please, Gigi, you have to stop. If you keep using your power, you'll die. I don't understand. Your clothes are still dirty and tattered. As they should be, Gigi. For my every waking moment is as the gods intended. Every day I live life to the fullest. Every day I enjoy grand adventures. I found your grandpapa's research notes. What he gave you wasn't the power to make things the way they were. He gave you the power to change the world, to make things the way you yourself believed they should be. That's why your magics have no effect on the Inspector. Because you know in your heart that this battered and bruised form of his is, in its own way, right. My thoughts exactly, Inquisitor Sia, and it is for this selfsame reason that you were unable to make Grandmaster Quan younger. In your heart you knew there was naught that needed to be changed. Your beloved grandpapa was exactly as he should be. Your every day was to be treasured and worthy of celebration. Then what about the Grand Sirs? Why was I able to make them young again? All you truly knew of them were the stories they told. Wondrous tales of daring do by heroes in the prime of their lives. It's no wonder you were able to envision them as such. That's all they ever talked about, when they were young and free and full of fire. At first, Archmagus Quan didn't understand the true nature of your abilities. He struggled to deduce why you could not make him younger as he originally intended. Eventually, he realized that your fond memories of him were preventing you from conceiving him as anything but an elderly creator, and that the only way to achieve his goal would be to take them from you. But you were all he had left in the world. No longer a mere mammoth, but a friend, family. his only family, his grandson. He couldn't bear to lose you, so he renounced his quest for immortality. But I still lost my memories in the end. He was afraid of leaving you all alone in the world, afraid that others would attempt to take advantage of you and your magics. So before he died, he decided to take your memories from you after all, to protect you. But despite his best efforts, something remained, something stronger and more powerful and more resilient than anything Archmagus Quan ever dared dream. You were never broken, Gigi. You were never abandoned. All he wanted was to set you free. Free? Free. To do what? Whatever you like, Gigi. Don't you see? That was his final gift to you. A new life. A new story all your own. This has all been very, very touching. But we're not getting any younger. Well, you aren't at any rate. We have suffered your meddling long enough. I had intended to use this trap to kill the worm, but since you are so perfectly positioned... Uh-oh. Like, this really would have killed Grace Veilgar. Not a chance. Yes! I am Vivi, grandson of Archmagus Quan, and Gigi, son of Hildibrand Maximilian Mandeville. I don't remember Hildibrand's name, and it went too fast. We're gonna think he sacrificed himself, but it's a Hildibrand quest. He'll be back somehow. Oh, even we passed out. Those were restored. And there's poor little Vivi / Gigi. No, no, no! The utter disappointment. It's like it never happened. With the last of his strength, he turned back the hands of time. Not just for the pillars, but for us all. He made us all as we once were, as we were meant to be. After all that gallivanting about, I get bugger all. What about my misspent youth? I was not meant to be this bloody old. Such a fine day. Never have I squatted with such perfect form. I may well have reached my physical peak. Ha! What rot! Act your age, you daft sod. You look foolish. You should be grateful. Gigi saw what you had become and gave you a second chance. That was our second chance, to relive our glory days. It was all rather silly though, wasn't it? Maybe Quan had the right of it. Maybe it's not so bad growing old. I was a coward when I was young, but now that I'm old, I'm not afraid to say things like, I love you, Doris. Oh, lying bloody fool, Gonspart. Where is he? Where is my son? I say, am I dead again? Quite alive, Inspector, along with everyone else thanks to Gigi. The Grand Sirs are also in our custody. That's my boy! Where is the little tyke anyway? Gigi embarked on a grand new adventure. He's no longer with us. I see. If that's what he wanted, then I could not be happier for him. I am sure Archmagus Quan would feel the same way. What do we do now, Inspector? Is it not obvious, Nashu? The wide, wide world beckons to us. With the promise of mystery and wonder, we shall resume our never-ending quest for cases perplexing and profound. And perhaps, one day, we shall meet young Gigi again. Oh, I hate to admit it, but this whole mess got me thinking that maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I really did have a grandson. You did right by Gigi, Hildy. Your father and I can see that. We're proud of the man you've become. And I am proud of you too, Mother, for finally coming to terms with the ephemeral nature of physical beauty and allowing yourself to age gracefully. Gracefully, was it? I fear we may have had a failure to communicate! There he goes again! Wait for me, Inspector! Wait! Hark! What is that curious light I spy in the far eastern skies? And this, oh, so familiar scent with which fills my nostrils. Do I smell a case? Worry not for me, friends, for wherever the wronged want for succor, I, Hildibrand, shall be there, till we meet again. As he heads to the far east, where we will be able to pick up the Hildibrand quest again after we finish Stormblood, which we're about halfway through the main expansion of Stormblood. Poor Gigi. I say, you do know that as long as the core remains intact, little Gigi is not actually dead. That's right. So dry your tears, boy. There's no need for all this moping about. He has fallen into a dormant state because he used up all his ether. His core will gradually recharge as it draws upon the ambient ether, and in time he will awaken from his torpor. I shall tend to the child for now. As for these three, I should be glad to take them back to Ishgard in your stead. A most generous offer, my lord, but hardly necessary. After all, 'tis my duty to bring them to justice. Oh yes, it was my duty. After everything I said to that young Inquisitor, I can't go back to Ishgard. They'll toss me in jail and throw away the key if they don't kill me outright. So go to Idleshire and live in Hildy's gazebo. Someone ought to look after it while he's away, no? That doesn't sound all that bad, actually. Full glad am I to accept your offer. I suppose there's nothing for it but to wait until he comes back down. 'Twas a most graceful strike, my love. You haven't lost your touch. Nice. suppose there's nothing for it but to leave the Grand Sirs to Lord Godbert, and for me to see to Inspector Hildibrand's gazebo. I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. If you find yourself in Idleshire, come and see me. There are a few arrangements that I need to make, but I can't imagine that it will take that long for me to settle in. Thank you, my friend, till we meet again. Looking back on the course I've run, it's hard not to think of the man I was and feel ashamed. Before I took on this case, I had only left the capital a handful of times. The rubbish I believed, the facts I considered unassailable. Fury take me, what a fool I was. If I hadn't met you and the Inspector and Gigi, I would have never realized how much I had come to hate my job. Nor would I have discovered how much more satisfying it is to seek out the truth. The whole truth. One might say that getting labeled a heretic and having to flee Ishgard is the best thing that could have happened to me. After all, now I am free to start a new life here in Idleshire as a consulting inspector. But enough of that. There is someone I would like you to meet. Lord Godbert made some modifications, as you can see. His smaller size should allow him to absorb ether more effectively over time. We thought that if he were able to travel with you and share in your grand adventures, that maybe it would hasten his reawakening. I will gladly take Gigi. Thank you, my friend. I do hope our paths cross again someday. May the Fury bless you and keep you. Let's watch the final credits roll for the Heavensward Hildibrands. Hildibrand Manderville. Nashu, Seer. Godbert, Julian. The Grand Sirs. Don't know enough of the Eorzean alphabet to be able to read those ones. I think that one's Edmund de Fortams. GG. I don't know what that one was either. But I did see the zombie Manderville man there for a second, so Hildibrand will return. He does. Post Stormblood. Thanks for watching, YouTube, the final part of the Hildibrand Heavensward quest featuring Morrighan and Initari. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/CalebGames here, where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, starting about 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time. I love you, YouTube. I'll catch you next time.